these are the 10 tips for you if you want to glow up physically and mentally in 2024. Hi, you guys. My name's Genevieve, and I make videos on becoming your best self in 2024 and onwards. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's be friends. So I know we all are continuously trying to improve ourselves. So my goal of today's video is to share 10 things to make sure you glow up this year, because I know you will. So there's no doubt about that. First one is habit stacking. If you haven't heard of habit stacking before, I did a little bit of research on the psychology behind how habit stacking works. And essentially, with every habit you have, your brain is building a strong network to support current behaviors so that the more you do something, the stronger and more efficient the connection becomes. You are creating and sticking with new routines by building on the current routines and behaviors you already have. So let me give you an example of this. I make my coffee every single morning. That is something that is part of my morning routine. I don't even think twice about it. But let's say I want to start adding something else, like cleaning my desk. Like my desk right now, it's super messy. So maybe instead of that, I start saying, okay, well, every time I make a coffee in the morning, I'm going to clean my desk right after and make sure it's all cleaned up. The more I start doing this and stacking it onto a current behavior, the stronger my ability to stick to this new routine becomes. I'm sure we've all heard of like it takes 21 days or something to break a bad habit or do all these things or to start a new routine. Habit stacking is something I recently learned that I think is going to be so effective. Like even when I brush my teeth at night, I've been making sure I wash all the dishes before I go to bed. And I'm embarrassed to say that I don't always wash the dishes before I go to bed. But now stacking that onto my routine before I go to bed, it's become so much more second nature, and I can already see the impact that has made on my life. Number 2 is a social media detox. Coming from me as someone who goes on social media every single day, people tend to present themselves in a more socially desirable view online. So it gives you an increased sense of self-esteem, but a decreased sense of control, because a lot of the things that we experience when we post on social media, external validation, etc., is coming from external factors. I have actually really noticed this because there will be days where, my engagement will be so good. I'll be getting a lot of followers. I'll be getting a lot of likes. My post will be popping off. And somehow I'll start feeling happier. And I mean, this is natural, right? Because something's performing well. You're like getting some validation for the hard work that you put in. But just remember that if this isn't natural, and sometimes it's good to actually take a break from that and find that inner confidence and validation within yourself, not from an external source. Not saying it's bad all the time. We can't really control all these feelings, in my opinion. So having some intentional time to stay away from social media sometimes can really help you elevate your life and remain present. Number 3 is to stop sharing your goals with everyone. This is coming from someone who is personally an oversharer. I can be someone that opens up so easily, and I really believe that a lot of people have good intentions, even if they don't. And I like to believe that, and especially when I first meet people. But over the years, I've realized 2 things. 1, I believe in evil eye. So people are always going to be entitled to their opinions. They may have a negative opinion on it. Energy is power. Thoughts hold power. So whatever that other person is thinking, whether it's jealousy, envy, anything towards you, can maybe subconsciously affect it. Actually, 3 things. Number 2, this is actually a psychology-backed one that I've heard a lot. But when you actually start sharing your goals or, like your thoughts with people, in your head, you are giving your brain a sense of completion, or it triggers a little reward in your brain when you actually share your goals and you receive some praise for it or congratulations, even though you haven't done anything. This tricks your brain into thinking that you're more far along than you actually are, and can actually deter some of the progress that you'll make if you weren't sharing any of these goals at all. It makes you kind of feel like you've already completed something without even doing it. And then the third one is that I know for me personally, sometimes I'll share things and people will kind of give me some criticism or thoughts or something that will make me think twice about the goal that I've shared. And this will bring about limiting beliefs in myself. And it'll actually make me less motivated to reach my goals because I start doubting whether or not I'm capable, whether or not it's even a realistic goal, and I start taking all this criticism so seriously. So if you have big goals for 2024, just be careful with how many people, who you're sharing this to. Number 4 is getting ready in the morning and having a routine. We always talk about the sense of routine, and it's because it actually makes the world of a difference. So getting up, making my bed, doing my skincare routine, making my coffee can help you maintain a sense that you have your life put together because you have this routine set in place and you don't feel like you wake up and you have no idea what you're doing with your life. I guess getting ready in the morning. So for me, it's if you're someone that works at home, maybe it's like you do your hair a little bit, you put a little bit of makeup on, whatever you want. Maybe like you change out of your home clothes. This can also help trick your mind into being more productive throughout the day versus waking up and staying like that for the whole day, because I could just easily go back and roll into bed otherwise. Number 5 is a good night's of sleep. I personally need to have my minimum 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and this has made the world of a difference for how I function. When I was in university, I knew so many people who would actually pull overnighters or sleep super late to study for exams, and I was just never the type of person who could do that because I just knew how much I valued and needed my sleep for my brain to actually function. Of course, there are people out there who run on less sleep. Sleep can impact your mood and can actually impact your decision making. So how rested you are can impact your reactions to things too. I know, for example, for me, when I'm really tired and I wake up and I end up being a bit more irritable and grumpy. So if something were to happen, like every little thing that gets in the way, I'm immediately less patient. So I think sleep immediately correlates with just a happier, better mood because your body is well rested enough to take the day with ease and flow through it really lightly because you did give your body that rest that it actually truly needed. Number 6, focusing on what you can do now and what is in your control versus what isn't. In 2024, we want to glow up. We're not going to glow up if we're constantly worried, constantly stressed about what the future is going to hold. I live like this a lot. I do spend a lot of my days thinking about the fear of the future. What am I going to be doing? Am I going to be making enough? Am I going to have a family? Where am I going to live? All of these things that just get into my brain. Buddhism is all about detachment, and that attachment is a root of all suffering. I think this kind of applies for me as more of a value in a sense, because I just think that whenever we are attached to a specific outcome in the future, we set ourselves up for this very specific thing. And if things don't fall out the way that we expected, we end up being disappointed or feeling like we failed. But I think a better way to look at this is if you don't get this, then you might get something better. So when you are manifesting your goals, if I want this, if not something better. Framing it like that, because we don't always know what the best outcome is going to be at the end of the day. So detaching ourselves from the need to control that is going to make you immediately more mentally at peace and just confident in the direction that you're heading. Number 7, physical activity. Setting weekly attainable goals for yourself and including movement into your daily life. I don't know how many times I always talk about this, and yet there are some days where I still don't move, and I know I need to move because my body is literally feeling the laziness. I am trying to fit in more workout sessions or even just working out at home or doing some at-home Pilates, but I think movement always makes a world of the difference. Allowing yourself to get your mind somewhere else. We always talk about being present. For me, one of the ways to actually get out of the present moment is working out, because instead of thinking of what I'm going to do tomorrow or what I'm going to eat for my next meal, I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, can I actually do this workout? My body is tired. I need to push myself to actually finish this. So it's a really great way to get out of your mind and into your body, and also add some physical activity, which is super healthy, and there's so many health benefits I don't even need to talk about for that. Number 8 is wearing clothes that you feel confident in 2024. Let me tell you, wardrobe makes the world of a difference when it comes to confidence. If I go out and I just put on whatever, when I'm socializing with people, I can actually feel like I'm less confident. I just don't feel like my best self when I'm not wearing a slay outfit. So putting on something that you feel comfortable and confident in can help you emanate more of that energy of confidence when you actually feel that way. The law of attraction. If I am feeling not confident in my outfit, people aren't going to see me as this confident, magnetic person. Versus if I come in and I'm wow, I feel absolutely amazing. I think I look great. I feel great. People are going to see that same energy come off of you. Number 9, importance of diet and reducing your alcohol consumption. Diet is a big thing because I know when I personally eat a lot of greasy foods, this can affect my mood, how I feel, like just feeling groggier and tired every day. So I try to cut that down and try to eat as many whole foods as possible. And of course, I'm going to treat myself when I want. One of my things that I've done that has really helped my mental health as well is reducing my alcohol consumption and not feeling as much shame towards not drinking. In university, I would drink like a lot more in social settings, not like a crazy amount, but now it's like instead of getting one drink, I'll just get water or like a mocktail even. And it makes me feel way better because I come home, I don't feel tired, I don't have a headache, I can be refreshed the next day, start my day right. So whether or not, like depending on how much you consume, maybe setting a weekly goal for how much you actually want to drink, or a monthly goal for how much you want to reduce your consumption by. The last one is to meditate and journal. I don't know who needs to tell you this, but we live in such a crazy, fast-paced world. Things are always happening, and there's this perception that we need to be doing the most at all times. I think it's so important to take the time to reflect and constantly go inwards, because that's a big part of up-leveling ourselves mentally in 2024 and even physically, because when we feel better, we start looking better. I'm going to end this video with a question for you. How are you finding time for you? And what is stressing you out right now that you want to release? Write that down, throw it in the garbage, and say goodbye to that, because in 2024, you are going to become your best self. You're going to become more magnetic, more confident, and just hold that energy that you really want to hold moving forward in your life. So yeah, those were my 10 tips for becoming your best self in 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel down below.